guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, I'm guessing he's probably in his mid 60s, I'd say, from Canada. And he shares his story, how he and his former marriage wasn't exactly a very good one. This guy was a very ambitious, successful entrepreneur, made a darn good living with his businesses, and yet all along, his wife, who had the same degree as he did, same place in life to start off, was extremely jealous of his success, and tried constantly to sabotage him, his situation, and yet he stayed for the kids, stayed for maybe trying to make things work, who knows. However, you're going to see, obviously, in the end, as these things go, they don't work out. And unlike a story I did yesterday about the guy over in England who was in bad marriage, or not bad marriage, but bad situation, how the ex is punishing him, this guy didn't back down. This guy fought her every step of the way when she was trying to make his life terrible. And now he's doing great. He's a bachelor on his own, enjoying life, and she definitely not so well. Now, and you're going to see other areas about his kids and things like that. But the point of the whole thing is, guys, this whole story is life is too short. If you're in a bad marriage, you're fighting all the time, your better half, I'm using that term lightly, is trying to hold you back, jealous of your success and all that, not being a supporter of your success and not realizing it helps her too. That'll tell you a lot you need to know, and it's best to part ways. Because a lot of guys stay in marriages thinking, oh, maybe it'll get better, or they try to remember who she once was. Understand this, a lot of times people, they get married, feel safe, and then their mask comes off, and you see who they really are. Or guys stay in it because of the kids, because they don't want to upset the kids, but at the end of the day, staying in that marriage, the kids see a miserable family life, and they end up that way, and plus he's got to get divorced anyway. But anyhow, guys, I thought we'd go over here and ending on a higher note compared to yesterday's story, and about a guy who doesn't back down, and he is now again kicking butt in life, and the ex, nope, not so much. He says, hello SSM. I've been watching your channel for over a year now, and I thank you for bringing us together and making us see our life from a different perspective. Well, bro, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all you guys for watching and sending in your great stories. Many of us have questions and unresolved issues, and by communicating with each other or listening to some other people's stories, a veil falls off. Maybe not at once, but in the end, we all heal sooner or later. Guys, we all get something out of these stories. When you guys send your stories in, I learn something, so we're all helping each other out here. We all got to stick together in this crazy world. I've had a similar experience with a British guy presented in your other video. He's referring to the video I did yesterday. We immigrated from an Eastern European country, both with university degrees, and settled in Canada. Here my career took off. I could speak very good English and French, and she lagged me quite badly. Probably feeling she loses control, she initially became bitter and depressed. We had a boy who was 7 years old at the time of our big move. So there's some big signs. Guys, your wife or girlfriend or fiance shouldn't feel intimidated or feel like she's losing control because you're improving in life and not her. That's a huge sign. You want a girl or a wife who is supportive, that as you're moving up, she understands that, guess what, that reflects on her. That helps her. She should feel supportive and feel darn good about that. The only type of gals that feel intimidated by a guy moving up in the world and rising is usually the masculine ones that want to freaking run the show, run the relationship. Been listening too much to the FNS propaganda. So after 3 years, I thought it would be good to have another child to get her mind focused on something beautiful, as she started to have a morbid attraction towards everything negative. Smack! You don't fix a bad marriage and relationship by having another kid and bringing another kid into a bad marriage. That is a rationale that so many people have used, and it's been a disaster. How do I know? My dad, and don't say it was because of me, my dad was married before, I'm from a second marriage. And marriage number one, my dad had 4 kids, and the marriage was really bad, from what I heard. So they had a save the marriage baby, child number 5. Guess what? Didn't save the marriage, made it worse. Finally, my dad was done and left. And yeah, then in time, met my mom, married my mom, and had little old me and my sister. But to save the marriage baby is a bad idea. And if she's that miserable, you should have been really thinking an exit strategy. Our daughter was born, and initially everything was fine. Well, congratulations on your daughter, but still was a bad move. Or so I thought. I was working away from home, especially in the winter, as I had contracts requiring that I supervise the client's field operations. New technologies were implemented and my people and clients needed my expertise. While I was away on business, I was bringing my sister-in-law to help my wife with the kids and household chores. I did this over the first 3 winters. I didn't have time to analyze everything. Being an immigrant building a successful business in another country is a monumental challenge. Well, good for you. Good for you for doing this monumental challenge. She was divorced, single mom. I can hear the smack, haha. But you have to understand this, I'm not a pushover. Yeah, well, smack. So, hang on here. See if I have this right. Is your current wife at the time, was she a single mom? And therefore the boy you're talking about, the 3-year-old, was her child? Or her sister-in-law who's helping out? I'm a little confused thus far. I command respect and very few people to challenge me. No women disrespected me, at least not in my face. Maybe it's my former martial arts and military background, but I call bullshit right away, sometimes in a harsh manner. Well, good. There's no other way to call bullshit. I'm a fighter. To keep it short, soon I started to hear comments like, why do you need such a big house? Why do you need to work so much? Why? Nothing positive. None of your fucking business. It's my life. I do what I want. My wife turned even more depressed, binge watching Seinfeld and Friends, yes, early 2000s, and compulsive reading, 8 to 10 books per week. I have to mention she quit her job as my daughter developed a bad asthma and allergies, had 2 very close calls by this time. She was 1.5 years old, and we decided to keep an eye on her. Meanwhile, my business was doing incredibly well and growing fast. You're taking care of your family, and you have goals, and never, ever apologize to that, or for that. And guess what? She doesn't have a job now, so you got to make more money. Everything turned to crap in a hurry. Nothing was good enough for her. Nothing I said or did was good. Constant critique. Now I understand it was gaslighting due to jealousy on my success and the admiration I was getting. I wasn't cheating. But at the time it was driving me insane as I didn't understand what was going on and was trying to make things right. Big mistake, I know, as I viewed it as weak. I did explode a few times over the years, and that just gave her even more ammunition and justification to continue. Bro, we all know how these stories go. They always end up in divorce or splitting up or something, whatever you want to call it, whether they're married, a divorce, or a couple splitting up. Just end it. But I mean, look, you got kids, and I get it, and you want to say you tried and all that, but still, it just gets worse and worse and worse. This chick, but you saw before even your daughter was born how miserable she was. Well, we finally divorced. Shocker. Thank the Lord. It's about freaking time. A disrespectful comment and I was gone in 30 minutes. I thought my problems ended. Not a chance. Oh, hell no. Just because you divorced doesn't mean the problems are over. Now she has to try to make your life a living hell in one way or another. It was getting worse. See, later I found out she wanted me back and thought if she destroyed everything around me, I would. Well, that's how narcissists operate. They try to destroy things around. You know, you have a woman who's a narcissist and she wants to keep a guy around, so she'll try to isolate him and destroy all the relationships he has with friends and family and all that, so all he has is her. You have to understand one thing. In public, she was very likable, soft-spoken creature that manipulates people into believing she's the wonderful person. Well, that's how narcissists operate. That's how sociopaths operate. All that book reading taught her a lot actually about human nature and how to exploit weaknesses. Over the years, she turned the kids against me. Most of my friends even tried with clients, but that didn't work that well. She was so good that a lot of people turned their backs on me as if I did something wrong to them. Yeah, again, she's a narcissist, she's a sociopath, master manipulator. Yeah. These types of people are great at it. And then you have put a woman who's at it, who is in touch with their feelings and know how to manipulate very well and gaslight. Ugh. Well, I'll say this. All these people that turn their backs on you, I would never, if they came to their senses, I wouldn't give them a second chance. Anyway, our daughter, who's 10 years old at the time of our divorce, was told that she had to tell her everything that happened while in my place. For years, she was debriefed by my ex-military style, trying to dig dirt on me and exposing my actions in the most negative way that she could. This took a great toll on my daughter, and I could feel her growing unease of spending time with me. So your ex was threatening your daughter that she better report everything you're doing, otherwise the daughter's going to be in deep shit. That's awful, you know. And of course, obviously, your ex got custody of the daughter, or the majority of the time. Shocker. I will not tell about the financial hardships I had to endure, as due to the fact that she worked a total of 6 years, and the 28 years we've been in Canada, I had to pay for everything. Of course you did. And you were with her for 28 years? Do I have that right? She even opened up a file with the Family Maintenance Program. Amazing how they chose these innocent names for all too powerful bureaus. And lying that I didn't pay child support for almost a year, and I had to prove with supporting bank check stubs that I did. Oh my God. Anything to make you miserable. I heard many comments about how becoming a strong man solves all the problems, increasing women's admiration and respect. All the R-pill stuff, which by the way I admire and think that over time will bring society back into equilibrium. But most don't take one thing into consideration: a woman's wrath. Hell hath no fury. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, very successful guys will get the admiration of women. That is absolutely true. But the only women that don't admire them are women that feel threatened by them, that they themselves want to have that level of success in their career and things like that. And who are those types usually? The masculine ones, the mannish ones, the G.I. Joe women, the feminists, okay? Now, I'm not saying that every single feminist out there is gonna, every single one walking the earth is going to react in this way, but you can you look at what are the common traits that a lot of these psycho-jealous ones are about guys that are successful having. Well, it's pretty obvious. It is incredibly destructive, a woman's wrath. I had the will to fight, though. I did everything. I spent 8 years in the family and Supreme Court battling the system. Well, good for you, man. Unlike the guy in the other story who said he was broke and all that type of things like that, you know, and it wasn't worn down. You were obviously a fighter, tougher, and you had the money to do that. And you were not going to let her win or impact your kids. Good for you. My ex lied so much that her lawyer dumped her. She said she's a stay-at-home mom, her manipulating sob story, and when I presented her university degree in court, the same degree as mine, he dumped her on the spot. Her own lawyer dumped her. No longer is going to represent the client. That's a big no-no, but that says how bad she was. But you have to understand we live in a system that is so manipulated, gaslit, and controlled by women that we stand no chance. After so many years of fighting, I realized the only way out is by opting out. Well, it's like the saying, the only way to win is not to play. But yeah, I love that she got kicked out, and they kicked it out, and the lawyer quit on her. But let's get back to my kids. My son now is 35 years old. So I'm still wondering if this is your son or this was her son. Maybe when you said maybe earlier when you mentioned the single mom, that was the sister-in-law, her sister that was giving you a hard time, who was a bitter single mom. So okay, fine. My son is 35. We haven't spoken in years. Last time we had a discussion, he was 27 and still blaming his lack of direction in life on me not supporting him. Oh my God. Sounds to me that your ex babied him and did things not to help raise him to be the man he should be. And now he's a big, giant fucking adult crybaby who needs his diapers changed. Blaming you because he's not where he wants to be in life, his lack of direction. You are an entrepreneur building a business. If there's anybody that can show a young guy a great example to make something of yourself, it's a guy like this. So your son sounds like one of these fucking crybaby Gen Z-tards from over here in the States, you know? And this is why it's so important that young men and women, frankly, have a good male role model. But anyhow, no. If he's not anywhere in the world he wants to be, there's only one person to blame, the guy that he looks at in the mirror every morning, himself. Problem is that you got so many people out there that want to blame everybody else for their lack of things in this world than actually themselves. Your son can kiss my ass. I tried telling him he's an adult and needs to take responsibility for his actions, ding, 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 that his mind was polluted by today's education and demasculizes men. I can compare it to one I had which toughened us up and taught us that nobody owes us anything and we had to push ourselves forward in order to become men. Yes. So many people out there think they're owed something, owed a living, owed this, owed that. Gentlemen, if you disagree with me on this, I have news for you. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes me a living or anything, and I don't owe anybody else a living. I can make fucking $10 million a year. I don't owe you shit. I'll pay what is the legal tax rates and follow the rules of law in that regard, and that's it. And donate money to charities that are near and dear to my heart, which I do. But beyond that, No. You know? The only thing I think people are owed is a safe place to live and stability and that type of thing, an environment that they can better themselves and everything. But in terms of being owed something, kiss my ass. The people that really make something themselves in this world that didn't inherit it risked everything to get where they are, worked their tails off, worked smart, gained knowledge, took calculated risks, risked their money, their credit, their time, their everything, their status in society, risked family time, friend time, made sacrifices to get where they are. They don't know shit beyond what is the legal tax rates for the time period, and you get my point. Had to go off there a little bit because that entitled people piss me the fuck off. Fuck your son. Kiss my ass. Anyway, I still do talk to my daughter. She says she loves me, but I detect a fear in her. A deep-seated one that I cannot really connect with. She graduated university and is a very smart kid. Works 12 to 14 hours daily and still lives with her mom, who uses her love to continue her parasitic life. Man, your ex got her in your daughter's mind and is now using her, and that's such a shame. I tried to open my daughter's eyes, but it was a mistake as she closed off. Now I distanced myself and told her I tried for many years to be a good father, to lend my support whenever she needed it. And God knows I did a lot, and I'm proud. And if she wants to reconnect, she needs to make the next step. I'm waiting, but will not hold my breath. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. All the crap you dealt with the ex, and your son's a fucking pussy and an entitled jerk off. I mean, I know he's your son, and deep down you love him, but still, I have to say I mean, we all fucking know it here. You know, you gotta be tough. Send that kid my video. I'll smack him. I'll drive from Florida to Canada so I can smack him upside the head. And maybe, I don't know, a roundhouse kick to the leg. I don't know. Anyhow, your daughter. Where the hell am I? Try to be a good father, blah, 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 blah. I won't hold my breath. Yeah, I wouldn't chase your daughter. You're here. At least you talk to her, and, you know, it seems like she's, you know, respectful and all, but just, I'm sure you said your piece to her, your mother's using you and all that, but at the end of the day, she's an adult as well. I would just continue with your life, and she comes to you, she comes to you. Don't chase after her. She is a woman, after all, 23 now. She might be smart, but the emotions are very powerful at the age and little experience to guide the logic on the right path and discern between gaslighting and facts. Oh well, all I'm noticing is that karma never sleeps. I'm very well off, in great health for my age, and the ex is facing a catastrophe if my daughter realizes she's being used and wants to build a family of her own. Ha 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 to your ex. It's funny you said your ex is in a financial catastrophe because didn't she obviously make out like a bandit in your divorce? I'm sure she did. But obviously she's terrible with money, pissed it all away. And I'm sure ex has never remarried or found another guy. He says, to my brother in England, this is the guy from yesterday's story who's definitely gone through a tough time, and my brothers everywhere, most of the time people don't see our true self. All that matters is to continue being a good man and to be happy with yourself. One day more people will realize that psychological abuse is much more damaging than physical violence that men are accused of. It has much greater social implications. Also, don't worry, feminism is their best punishment. Ha ha ha. Cheers. Well, man, I'm glad your story's better than the story I did yesterday about that guy. Congratulations, your success. You made mistakes, but mistakes a lot of guys would do. You know, at least you're talking to your kids, you know, and I'm glad to hear that your ex is not doing so well because she's a piece of something. And I'm glad you're doing well. It sounds like you just accepted reality, but you've done very well for yourself, and you can have the pride of hard work and great success. You have the cushion of, obviously, resources to enjoy a good life and not have to worry about money. And maybe, I hope, I mean, as much as I was trashing your son, and he deserves to be trashed, I hope one day his head comes out of his entitled ass, and maybe, you know, who knows. But you said, again, he's in his 30s, so the odds of that happening, I don't know. But you never say never, you know. Again, I'll drive to Canada, smack him if I can. Or you can just ship him down here, and I'll smack him. Either way. And I'll put it on YouTube, and you all can watch me, and I'll get 1 million views. And as for your daughter, hopefully maybe, you know, maybe she reaches out to you, spend more time with her. I think you really need to tell her reality about her mother, whether she wants to hear it or not. And at the end of the day, you're not really talking to her that much anyway. I mean, it seems like you just get along. Probably get a card at Christmas and your birthday and maybe see her on occasion. But, you know, at the very least as a dad, you warn her, you know. But there you go, guys. That's reality. But this guy's story is much better than before. But compared to the video I did yesterday, which was long, and a lot of you guys saw and were frustrated with the guy. But regardless, yeah, this is the type of crap that happens to guys. And there's any wonder guys aren't getting married or having kids or anything like that. But guys, you got to be careful with the women you choose, get involved with, and they can be seemingly okay, and then they lose their freaking mind. And in your situation, it seems like from the get-go, she had proven through her actions to be just an asshole and miserable. Guys, life's too short. It's not worth being with these types, okay? And you get a hit in the divorce, because guess what? The divorce happened anyway, right? You will survive, as this guy did. So for all you guys out there that are in bad marriages and you're sticking around and you just think, you know, oh, maybe it'll get better, or doing it for the kids. Well, look, divorce usually is inevitable anyway. You might as well just get on with it. And if you're not careful, the kids are going to be really messed up. That's all I can say. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.